Welcome everyone to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. Tonight, we're going to talk about Microsoft and how much that they hate Xbox owners. That is according to The Gamer. Microsoft hates Xbox owners because if you haven't heard and you've been living under a rock for the last week or so, Gears of War Reloaded is actually coming out. So, Microsoft supposedly is going to have physical release of that game for PlayStation and PC, but no Xbox. At least according to the game's website, the retailer, they're not going to have any physical copies for the Xbox, which really makes not a whole lot of sense to me because who releases physical copies of PC games these days? Like I have not been into a GameStop or anything that had PC games brand new for the longest time. Everything people are buying that stuff off Steam. Maybe wherever the game's at, because they're not a retailer here in the U.S. that I'm aware of, right? Where's the game out of? Anybody know?
I believe that's a European thing.
Yeah, probably.
England, that kind of area.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. Yep, Europe. Yep. So, like I said, maybe they still buy a lot of PC games physical over there. But so it's going to be on PlayStation and PC physically, but not the Xbox, according to Game, which is kind of weird for it being a Microsoft Studios game and they're snubbing their own consoles, which, just shows you that Microsoft hates you,
Oh, yeah.
That Microsoft hates their own children. They like the stepchildren and all the foster kids, but their own flesh and blood, they want you to get out of the house. They want to kick you in the ass as quick as possible to get you out of the house. Which just goes back to the whole thing we chatted before where they really don't want you playing on an Xbox because they don't want to make hardware anymore. They don't want to be in the hardware business. Hardware bad, games good to them. So the problem is that they're the center of keeping Sony in check, but they don't care. They're like, we don't want to be in that business. We get out of it. Sony can do what they want to do. They can jack the prices up, screw the consumers over. Microsoft doesn't care anymore as long as you buy their games on anything. So it does, but like I said, it does seem odd that they're snubbing their own console if it really is only coming out on the PlayStation and PC and not the Xbox. Like I said, anything physical is kind of as physical PC releases are rare. For us, it's rare. I don't know if in Europe it is, so it could be, but why a PlayStation and not Xbox? Let's just take PC out of the equation altogether. Why are they listing it on PlayStation but not PS5 specifically and not the Xbox? Like, why do you do that? I don't get that. Like I said, this was according to the Spanish Twitter account for the video game retailer Game. And it was first spotted by a Reddit user called HotCause481. I love those tags in Reddit. Microsoft. I don't know what to say about these guys. They make moves that I am confused as all get out by these days. Everything they do is confusing to me. It's like, don't let them know your next. Don't let them know your next move to the nth degree. Like, I have no clue what Microsoft's doing anymore. I am giving up on figuring out or trying to figure out what they're doing. But Shane, what do you think, man? What do you think Microsoft's ploy is? And there's nothing set in stone. This is by a game retailer had made a Twitter post, but this could be just rumors. Nothing is concrete yet, right? Microsoft hasn't announced any of that or said where it's coming out at. So, but it could be all rumors. But if a game retailer says all we have for sale is PC and PlayStation 5 physical, then you have to kind of take their word at it. And I've not heard hide nor hair out of Microsoft since this announcement. So Shane, what do you think? What do you think Microsoft's doing and why they would do something like this and not snubbing their own console?
I don't get what Microsoft is doing. Period anymore. I'm one of the few Xbox fans anymore. And when I say that, it's really, really hard to say. They're doing things that just doesn't make sense. Now, like you said, though, this is a game retailer. This isn't an official announcement or anything like that. But I mean, the game retailer basically saying, hey, we're not getting any copies physically. That's what he's basically saying. Now, whether or not there are physical copies, I don't know. But it doesn't make sense not to release physical copies of that game for your console. Your console. Microsoft has said and done some of the dumbest crap. Far as me being a Microsoft Xbox gamer, I don't get them anymore. I really don't. The only thing I could think of is this is their way of saying, we're leaning out of discs now. The other guys can have them, but we're going to just go all digital now. So that's what we're doing. I can't imagine that though. I just can't do it. But it's Microsoft. They don't make the smartest decisions anymore. They don't. Well, I can't say smartest. I would say decisions as a gamer I don't get. But then again, that's the gaming industry. They're all doing the dumbest crap. I mean, doubling down on loot boxes and live service games, failure after failure. They just keep going for that. Microsoft is basically telling their competition, here's my shit, put it on your console now. And then they're telling you your console doesn't mean nothing because everything is an Xbox. So it wouldn't surprise me at all that Microsoft is just skipping discs for their own console. Not a surprise whatsoever. But you can still get PC games, guys, on disc at Walmart. They have them there. There's like Find the Missing Word, Casino, everything your grandma needs to,
You still get that
keep her
AOL disc.
occupied.
Yeah, Walmart.
Yeah. Yep. Still put that in so I can hear the TV go. No. It doesn't surprise me if this is factual, but it is coming from a retailer, not Microsoft themselves. So it's kind of it makes sense that they would do something stupid. That's painful to say, but it makes sense that they would do stupid things, and this is a stupid thing. So maybe it's true, but if it's not true, I'm still just gonna pick it up digitally anyways because I don't want to leave the house. No, probably pick it up physical since Nick doesn't game share because he sold his Xbox to, I don't know, buy a car battery or something, whatever the hell they was doing. But no,
It'll come to Game Pass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there it is. And that might be one reason, too, entice more people to purchase Game Pass for $6.99 on CD keys. Hint, hint. So, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it might be because of Game Pass, right? Because Game Pass is, because Game Pass is on Xbox, and so maybe a majority of their players have Game Pass potentially, so they don't see a reason to sell a physical copy of that. That could be one reason. The other one is, the more moves that Microsoft makes, in the way that they're making them, I'm almost wondering if Microsoft will have another console. And what I mean is like a legit console. Like the next one, we've talked about this before and how Microsoft had talked about how the next console is going to be like the biggest thing since sliced bread and everything like that. But the moves they've been making, it almost makes me wonder if maybe they've decided they're not going to do that, right? The next console for them might be we talked about them possibly having a streaming box after the next one. And I'm wondering if the next one might just be the streaming box, right? With this is an Xbox campaign and everything like that. They're almost shooting for everything's an Xbox, right? So the next thing that comes from Xbox console-wise is not going to be a full-fledged like console. It's just going to be a gateway into Game Pass and the Xbox ecosystem through cloud or streaming capabilities, right? So, because that's really the way that the decisions they've been making really have made me wonder, is there going to be another Xbox? They said there was, but we haven't heard about it since that interview with Sarah Bond and Phil back in, what has it been, like 3 years now, 4 years, something like that? I don't remember. It's been a long time. Feels like a long time. That's the last time we've heard of this, of the next Xbox, right? And this was before all of that. I mean, they weren't quite heavily pushing into what they're pushing into now, which makes me think that they've changed direction on the next Xbox, right? So, or where Xbox is going as a whole.
Here's another thought for you, though, Nick. Tell me what you think.
I'll tell you what I think.
The Xbox handheld was announced.
Yeah.
2 of them. The ROG partnership and their own. So do you think that's what they're going to be doing? Just slapping a hybrid together and calling it their most powerful next-gen leap console BS?
Maybe, right? There was, I think recently there was some leaked photos of the Asus Xbox handheld, right? So, yeah, I mean, like, ultimately it's just going to be, their whole "this is an Xbox" campaign. They've really pushed that, right? And so the handheld is just going to be another Asus, what is it? The ROG, right? ROG version. It's just going to be that, but an Xbox variant of that, right?
Officially Xbox licensed one or whatever.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And then the other handheld that they're making on their own is probably not going to be on their own. It's probably going to be with another manufacturer, and it's going to be an Xbox licensed.
Project
piece.
Keenan, I think is what they called it or something.
I mean, they could come out with their own, but they might even pull that back too and say like, there's no point in it. Let's just have Asus make Project Light, or officially Xbox licensed one, and maybe we'll have Lenovo with their Legion make an Xbox officially licensed one, right? They're already out there, so whatever. And then for the Steam Deck, we'll put Game Pass on that, right? You can access Game Pass on the Steam Deck now.
And that's probably what they're going to end up doing. I mean, it makes sense for basically the destruction of the Xbox ecosystem, as far as the Xbox console itself. It makes sense for them to just, you know what? Why bother? I mean, how many Microsoft hardware products have sold well? I mean, the
Xbox is going the way of Zune.
That's exactly where I was going. I mean, you have Zune, which was a great little device. It truly was. I don't think they gave it enough thought on how to implement everything with it. Then does they still make a Windows Phone? No? Okay. So there's another dead item. They make the Surface, though.
They make the Surface and stuff like that. Yeah.
Now, the Surface is not a bad device from what I understand. I've never touched one, but from what I understand, it's not a bad device.
I think you had one for the longest time.
They've done, so 1 out of 12 things. That's a good average.
The Windows phones weren't that bad either. The problem is there was no apps for them.
Yeah. Right. And didn't you? Yeah, you had one at one time, didn't you?
Yeah, and it wasn't a bad phone. Like, I liked the way it worked and everything like that. It's just there was nothing. If you wanted, like, everyone on Android or Apple would be like, "Hey, did you see this app?" I'm like, they don't have it on.
No. Yeah, but I could play lasers. Yeah. Can you?
I can play solitaire.
No, I forgot about that. You having that damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it seems kind of odd that they would do this, but I wouldn't put it past them. So, like I said, this is all still rumors right now. No official word from Microsoft, but Nick did bring up a good point. They have Game Pass. So, I mean, why
I brought that up?
Why pay full price when you can pay $7 to play it and not have to buy it, right? Or if you're going to pay full price, you pay $20 to Microsoft.
If most people that have Xboxes have Game Pass, then they don't, they don't need to sell physical.
Yeah, I don't know what that's true or not. I don't think they're that flooded.
I don't know the statistics on that.
But yeah, I mean, so if you want a copy and they're not going to do physical, your only option is to buy digital. But But I think it's kind of weird because I mean, sometimes on my Xbox, I like buying steelbooks and things like that, and I think a Gears of War steelbook would be freaking awesome.
Oh yeah,
All right, so
especially for the Reloaded. Like I'm even though it's just Gears of War 1, like remade or redone or whatever, it looks really good. And I'm excited to play it again. I love Gears of War, so I'm excited to play through 1 again.
Right. Yep.
Unfortunately, just can't buy it a disc.
Right. So let us know what you think down in the comments. Do you think this rumor is going to turn out to be true? Do you think Microsoft is abandoning the console even earlier than we anticipated? Because I think it's really a slap in the face to Xbox owners if it does come out on PC and PlayStation physically, but not on Xbox. I think that's a real smack in the face to their fans. But, you know, that's just my opinion. What do you think? Let us know down in the comments. And you've reached the end of this episode. If you're not subscribed, why not help us out? Hit that subscribe button. Help feed a hungry gamer, you know? And I don't think any of us are starving, but, you know, hit that subscription button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, get notified of new videos that we put out. We put out multiple videos every week, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope to catch you next one.
See ya.